Okay. I'm going to try this camera now. So you're quick, honey bunny. Okay, Alex, give a few seconds for some people to show up. See, I've got a camera up here. It's a USB connection. What we're looking at right now is the actual computer camera. It's not nearly as good a quality, but we'll see how it works if it's more reliable. It shouldn't matter, but it's freaking YouTube. Who knows what matters? The audio is through the computer. Oh yeah, I forgot to change that to the other audio device. How bad is the audio? Does it really sucky poo? Or is it just not as good? In computers, I suppose it's better than no computers. Echo. I say, is it really bad? Because if it's really bad, I can do it again. Terrible. Alex says not too bad. Hey Lars. Okay. Blurry. Yeah, I've got a different camera going. I'm using the one on the computer itself. I don't know. I don't know why it keeps happening. So I don't know. I say this is the.
I'm thinking here sometime this winter we ought to look at either taking your computer to a computer.
Well, we need to do the whole thing. Sounds like you're talking into a can. Hello. I say, is it worth restarting all over again, or just keep going from here? And it's up to you guys. Okay. To me, it all looks the same. Just this ugly guy staring at me. Uh, anyhow, so let's see. We got 7 people. Probably we were up at 19, Alex. It just got clearer and louder. Wow. I wonder why. I wonder if it has anything to do with the uh, system here at the motel and whether it gets overloaded or something. I just don't know why.
It shouldn't. That computer's on Ethernet.
Yeah, well, I know, but I mean the system itself, not just our particular thing. Audio jack? Nope, no audio jack right now. This is right there on the computer. This is all right now. I'm running on all built-in stuff. So I say I don't have any connections. No, Rusty, I didn't touch a thing. You know, yeah, I say it's. I don't know if I knew exactly what the problem was. I could, kind of address it a little better. Too much porn, huh? Hey, Rock, how's it going? Weather a little warmer than Ontario, huh?
Probably feel like 80.
Well, hey, Rock, we got a guy. I don't know if you've seen Alex before. Um, he's previously a student at Butte, went up to Alaska, did some core splitting, and just got back. So he was going to regale us with one of his stories. This would be a great time to say, I need to work this winter and try and get it so people can just log on and, um, we can do like a group chat sort of thing, like a Skype meeting that other people can watch or something. Okay, Alex. So I wasn't sure. It's been a while, and Rock Butcher showed up this summer, so I'm not sure. Just bought a new Corsa. Who is we, Rock? Well, you see, that's the problem, Lars. You should be mining the gold, not the dirt. Sent me an email. Let's see if I can get that without the computer going spazzoid on us. Click a few things. I shut everything else down to minimize potential bandwidth or conflict issues. Signing into my email now. Okay, let's see. Well, that's kind of pretty, Rock. See the little one? It's a gold panner on the amethyst surface there. That's kind of cool.
Ooh.
I presume that's not real gold. That's just like brass or something, Jean-Francois. Now Eva wants to see. Just a minute.
Oh, I love that.
That's very nicely done.
That is cool. Very pretty.
I hope so, gold miner. You think it's real gold, huh? Well, it could be gold leaf. That wouldn't be terribly expensive to do. And it would look good forever, so to speak.
Yeah, it's very pretty.
But yeah, that's very, very artistically done. Well, I like to be able to share a screen or something. Go ahead, Alex. Regale us with your adventures in the frozen north, or in your case, the very drippy north. Southeast Alaska, yeah, should be getting a lot of moisture off the Pacific there. I'm doing okay, Jean-Francois. I seem to be seeing my video. I don't think anyone else. And let's see what happens. Can someone else comment just to make sure that we've... It should be warmer. That's for sure, Honey Bunny. So I was cutting core and came across some molybdenite way at the bottom of the hole. It was the first time I had seen it in the hole. It was in a crack, so I took it to management. Okay. That's a good, since that was the first time I'd seen it, I thought it was important. I hadn't noticed it when logging. By the way, Alex, when you get an appropriate chance, tell us what you were actually looking for if you can. A lot of times there's confidentiality in agreements here, so he may be restricted in what he can say. This would be nice to have a Skype meeting going.
Oh, yeah.
I have no idea how well the internet would handle that. Next day, manager comes over very excited and said he told his manager, and they were very excited. Okay. They're really excited. There's some molybdenite there. No, Rock, we're talking about Alex. He's regaling us with a story of his adventures in Alaska. he was looking at cores, cutting cores, and he saw some molybdenite. So he told management, and they got all excited. And now we're waiting for his typing skills. They just use today metallic deposits. Oh, first chance they got to date the core. Okay, well that'd be cool. So they can actually date the rocks in the core.
Good. That's cool.
Hey, let's say, can you tell us what you were looking for? No. Gold exploration. Cool. Well, that's why you need somebody with some knowledge looking at stuff. Even if what you're doing is something that, say I could be trained for in a shift or two, I wouldn't have been able to see that and say, oh, well, there's something important there. Yeah, that is unusual, Alex. Usually they're pretty tight on these sort of things. Management was so excited they got to get an actual geologist to be a core cutter. See, and it paid off for them too. I say I could have cut the cores, I'm sure, but I wouldn't have known very well what I was looking at. I could spot obvious stuff, Wow, they were in a huge hurry to get you. Emailed me at 7 p.m., wanted me to fly out at 6 a.m. Man, you are special, Alex. He said he made 10 grand in 30 days, 12-hour shifts, no time off. Rock. $350 a day. How does that rate? Are they doing kind of an isotope ratio then? Okay, Rock says that's core cutter rates. Wow, little one. I could make $350 a day cutting cores in Alaska until it turns to ice.
Can I come too?
The drillers made $550 a day starting salary for new drillers. Now, in this case, I doubt that you could go to the field camp with me. I'm guessing that,
Unless they had hired me to do something.
yeah, if there was something you could do, like, cook or this or that or the other, it couldn't be super physical, but there's a lot of things that need to be done that aren't necessarily super physical. Core cutter, I don't know, how physical was that? That they had chefs working there too, a couple ladies working long hours day and night.
I certainly would be willing to do it.
Yeah. Tell you what, she's a real trooper to be sitting up there on the side of that hill, just waiting for me to bang on the ladder track with a hammer. It's a lot more pleasant for me down below, where it was, I'm guessing about 45.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I was in a t-shirt and a long sleeve shirt, but not a heavy long sleeve shirt. And Alex said, core cutting got me really sore. There wasn't much physical activity involved. Just standing always in one position for 12 hours a day, pushing the core into the saw. Made my shoulders and arms real stiff. Yeah, I could see how that could, especially as you weren't used to it to begin with. So you're using muscles in an odd way.
How that's done. I would like to work with core.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Say that project over here, there may be stuff like that. they may have some lab work and stuff. We had the possibility she might be able to do some lab assistant stuff for this project that Lauren and Jim are involved in. So that would be kind of cool. She's all excited about that. And oh, let me show you some toxic waste. This looks harmless. It looks normal.
That is not toxic waste.
But this is cranberry orange rum habanero sauce. Salsa. It's also got some onion and yellow pepper in it. But yeah. Lauren really likes the hot stuff. So we were making cranberry sauce and just diced up a few extra things and split some of it off. Yes, did you have a reasonable time up there, Alex? The experience was good. Good look on the resume. Don't want to do quarter cutting again, though. I can understand if that's all you did. I was so busy I didn't have time to think if I was having fun or not. Yeah, it's amazing what you can do for a month or so. You know, it's a different thing if it's month after month after month. The 4 weeks just flew by. Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah, if you're just busy and you're actually having to focus on what you're doing, yeah, even if it's kind of a boring job, the first month usually goes by pretty quick. Oh my goodness. Boy, it's nice to hear from you again, Alex. Oh,
That is good.
you think you build a good XRF, Jean-Francois? I have no clue. Yeah, my brother and myself and my daughter were hauling salmon on the Pacific coast for a month, 6 weeks, something like that one year. It was kind of an adventure. And it was very interesting. It was nice spending some time with my daughter, too. Okay, Alex, thank you. That'd be interesting. Jean-Francois. Yeah, I have no clue. Oh, anyhow, I presume most of you noticed I'm pretty close to completing the breakthrough at Montana B. Not planning at this point to go up there again. We'd have to have some pretty good weather for a weekend. I did get the Hilti working again, and it was apparently the cord. The cord had a little damage to it near the plug, so I cut it there. It didn't look like it had interfered with the conductor or anything. I cut it there, put on a new plug. Everything seems to be working fine now. I was figuring it was probably either the cord or the switch because it went from working fine to absolutely nothing. Check the power supply and everything else, and yeah. Uh, so I got that running. I could go back to work, but we'll see. So that's probably it for Montana Bee for this season. We'll be building some more ladder track this winter so that we can go finish up that thing next year. You explain how they work, huh? I don't know. I'm not familiar with the intricate details, Jean-Francois, so I couldn't tell you. I know the old ones actually used to have an X-ray source, a radioactive source. So I don't know. No, X-ray emitter has spinning disk so it doesn't get destroyed quickly. So yeah, much higher output potential. Good question. Well, of course, Alex, doesn't everyone want their own gamma spectrometer? Just every girl needs one.
I certainly do. I have no clue what it is, but I want one.
It's a gamma spectrometer. It's spectrometers gammas.
I have no idea what it does, but I want one.
It would measure gamma rays at a
Okay.
particular
Well, then I
energy.
definitely want one. You never know when there may be a gamma ray around that needs measuring.
I suppose. But yeah, that'll work, honey bunny. Yep. Gamma ray spectrometers let you know what radioisotopes are in a sample by measuring the energy level of gamma rays emitted by the sample.
Cool. So I don't have to rely on them glowing in the dark anymore? That's good.
Yeah. You can take off your sunglasses. So, but yeah, so I'm not sure what we're going to do this winter. So we still got Dave's Mine to look at. We got that ladder track to build. We got some. I got to service the generators and quad and things like that. And we'll see. We got a little bit of resin to strip, but that's about it. So, there's not a whole lot to do. Oh, we ought to get that stripping solution and the stripper from the ranch too.
Mm-hmm.
We could bring the solution in here, and then just put the stripper in the beluga for now. If we get a chance, we can maybe take it over to Lauren's and set it up. We'll see what happens. So, I say not a whole lot of mining to do. We may go on a little trip. We have a viewer in Bishop that may have a what kind of furnace is it? Muffle furnace. And we'll see how it all works out. But this season is pretty much over, and the new season probably won't start until like May. So that gives us about 6 months to come up with stuff to do. I've never had any trouble coming up with stuff to do. So, Montana Bee should be pretty easy to get to in May. Technically, it's May 15th. The roads open up. But I mean, it's 5,000 feet or something, so it shouldn't be a problem. What makes you think we're about to have a crazy winter, Shaggy? And I presume that's weather you're talking about. Everything else I would agree with you.
What's Shaggy's theory?
I don't know, he hasn't said yet. Look at the rock. Our drill was turning 110 feet of overburden and down to 135 feet in bedrock. I put that in quotes because it doesn't satisfy my definition of bedrock. How hard is it to, I presume you're running full casing in the overburden there, Rock. And then are you recovering the casing or are you leaving? Is it like plastic pipe for casing? Or are you having to push steel in there? I'm not sure. Oh, and the Sierra Blaster is doing a good job of blasting the hard rock in the corner of the penetration I'm making and giving me a pretty square corner without much overbreak. It's kind of just popping it out from the hole and not shattering a lot of rock. So I'm quite pleased with the controllability of the system in that situation. Alex said, in Alaska, we were drilling through permafrost on the top of a hill. Water was causing some issues flowing through the permafrost and freezing to the drill steel. Are you using plastic or steel casing, Rock? Ooh. Alex said, on our last hole, the drill rig shifted, caused the rod to bend and get stuck. They closed the hole with the drill steel still stuck. You foresee the weather not being so normal this season. Is there a reason you can elucidate for that, Shaggy? Or you just have confidential reasons? Because I'm not sure what the weather's going to do. You know?
All I'm concerned about is how much precipitation we get. We need precipitation.
Yeah. Next season, they will try and unstick the drill and continue to. Yeah, getting drills unstuck can be a real pain. I know. I think I had to abandon one stick one time. The drill, the bit got stuck and I couldn't get it unstuck. So we just rattled the drill string a lot and then unscrewed what we could and see what we could get. Going to be an El Nino, huh? I don't know. Hey, Shaggy says there were 12 inches of snow in Northern California. It didn't make it to us in Montana. Yeah, they had a pretty big earthquake down there in the Philippines, too. I haven't seen Tricky today, but he emailed me, so he was safe after the big earthquake. Jean-Francois, not in any detail, so I'm not sure. Let me try something here. I can get a 2-day space weather forecast.
Yeah, we were supposed to have some.
Yeah, we had a chance this weekend, but it was cloudy. Yeah, nothing for the next 2 days, little one.
Yeah. I haven't been all that impressed with the space forecast lately. I think the space meteorologists are as bad as Earth meteorologists.
Well, Jean-Francois, if the ice was that thin, were there any rivers you could go to and still get to the water to fish? I know here, down below the dams, we got open water basically all year. So I can get there. As a matter of fact, I'm getting the urge to dip a line here and get things caught up and everything. May have some construction work to do. I gotta help Lauren a bit. He's going in for some shoulder surgery here in about 3 weeks, and so trying to get some stuff done there. And then afterwards, he's going to be really laid up, so he may need some help on some stuff. I can learn some. I don't know. Is it heavy equipment if it's small, like a bobcat or a little mini excavator? Do you call that heavy equipment or just small earth moving equipment? I don't know. Yeah, Tricky Dicky said he lives close to the beach. Ultralight heavy equipment. Who had to fly all our supplies into camp on DC-3s? Sweet Eva would have loved that part. Said the supplies were a problem. Did run out of drill mud for almost a week. Yeah, that's the problem being out in the wilderness, Alex. I have I had a friend in high school whose dad used to do oil exploration in the 50s, and that he had some stories. Yeah, Mr. Virtue's sister used to weld on earth movers, huh?
Oh,
Yeah, I have actually flown on a B-17. So has Eva, but I don't know. I doubt that she remembers it.
no.
Yeah, you've seen the picture, right?
Yep, I've seen the picture.
Yep. B-17 it flew nice without a bomb load. I'm not sure how good a flyer it is with a full load, but without the bomb load, it was pretty nimble. You know. You know, it was like each DC-3 flight cost us $12,000, not including the actual supply. That's just the freight.
That does not surprise me.
The project I was running on spent $22 million in 12 weeks. Yeah, it gets pricey up there.
And he only got 10,000 of it?
Well, yeah, but he's just out of college.
But that's greenflation. Corporations.
That's okay. He's working to be the guy getting the big money. You got to start somewhere. You know, to be a rapacious capitalist, just started to being just a little hungry capitalist. You know, where do you find that kind of money? Big companies, medium companies, or investors? Any high school dropout can core cut at 16 years old. No skills needed. I would think so. In his case, Alex says it was venture capitalist investors. Yep.
Okay. Can we find some of those to build me a lab? That would be
I have
nice.
to have a project. Now, if you had a degree in laboratory stuff, you could probably do something like that. And then she get an engineer to cut core for them. Yeah, Jean-Francois, that's amazing that people don't want to spend millions of dollars in a country that they don't feel comfortable with the legal system. Go figure. Pretty soon the United States is going to find that out too.
Oh yeah, it won't be much longer.
Yeah, you can't corrupt the legal
Yes, you
system
do.
without lots of consequences. Absolutely. You know, but oh, you cut cord for them. Well, yeah, but see, it worked out for him, Alex, because you were smart enough to figure out something that a 16-year-old fresh out of high school wouldn't.
Oh, you know me. If I had been doing it, as soon as I saw something new show up, I would have told somebody.
Well, Alex, yeah, if you're out in the middle of the boonies, I can understand them. I mean, now my AR-10 they might not have liked. Possibly Shaggy. Then they'll see if it was worth the investment. He says they had weird rules on what you can bring. They allowed 10 millimeter and 44 Magnum, but not 357 Magnum. I guess they figured it's not big enough for bears, so it doesn't qualify for a hunting firearm or something. I don't know. I agree with you, Jean Francois. It might have been a lot of logistic costs too, Rock, as opposed to just the actual operation. Yeah. Because the grizzly bear droppings smell like pepper spray and have bells in them. Hard to tell, honey bunny. But yeah, I've been running around town here with places I normally go asking if anyone's got problems with firearms. Well, evidently somebody's minding the investors. That's not the first time you've seen that, I imagine, Rock. Oh, the costs are $12 million. Really? Where did it all go? Oh, somewhere. I've got receipts. Uh, you know how things go sometimes, Rock. Uh, oh, anyhow. Oh, I presume it's almost time to
Almost.
take over, little
I
one.
am discussing peace with somebody.
We're down to 11. I'm just losing everybody.
Of course you are. The computer messing up has annoyed people.
No, it was around 16 after the second fuck up. Maxed out at 19. Oh, so anyhow, I say that's basically what's going on here. Eva, I presume, will have a fairly interesting report tonight. She's been quite the trooper. No whining. It's been tough on her, but she's done what it takes. I've done what I can to make it easier on her, but yeah, that's not that's not an easy job sitting around in the cold. And that wind, I mean, it was hurting me, and I was just in it temporarily.
They also serve who only sit and wait,
Ah,
to quote somebody.
okay.
Wait another couple of minutes.
Interesting to see that this it's melting from the bottom up, which is what you'd expect because that's going to have a higher salt content. Exact same situation with the pregnancy. I think I'll let these both melt and then refreeze them again just to see what happens.
You left the freezer door open, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
Bummer. Is it just cracked open or wide open?
Half open.
Yeah, cracked open. Just didn't latch. Oh.
Gotta keep an eye on you.
That one was basically thrown away. It was so remote, must have been a huge deposit. Yeah, Alex, see, this is the difference between mining ground and mining investors. The people who are setting it all up were getting paid. And they get paid whether or not they found anything. I've seen enough of that in my life where people say it's a lot more reliable to find investors than it is to find a good ore body. The water will separate the solution of the as you freeze it, the solution separates into pure water up here, pure ice, and then it's concentrating all the dissolved solids into the bottom. That's what freezes last.
Rather bizarre.
Very close to the one. Not with the wind blowing that way, Jeff. Okay. Oh, here you go, Alex.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, Jeff. Had the wind been behaving, I could have been toasty-oasty warm. That fire has worked in the past when there has been no wind, or the wind has been really light but in a prosperous direction. All weekend long, the wind was blowing exactly the wrong direction for that. Bizarre.
Always in
Hi,
motion is the
Alex.
wind.
Hi, Jean-Francois. Hi, Shaggy. So, in case anybody missed the news, First Quantum down there in Panama has basically kind of shut down at the moment. They have fallen victim to all the government nonsense that's going on down there. And it looks as though the project will no longer continue. I'm sure the Panamanians are not upset at all at losing only 3% of their GDP and about 20,000 jobs. I mean, that's not much at all in the grand scheme of things. But at the moment, yeah. Last I heard, they had suspended operations. First Quantum will fast-track Zambia project. Oh, wow. Another piece of prime real estate. After Panama blow. Canada's First Quantum Minerals has inked a deal with Zambia's Mimosa Resources to fast-track their joint development of the Fishtai Copper Project in the African country's central province, near the border with the Democratic Republic of Congo. The companies, which have been exploring the asset since 2012, wow, only 11 years, now see Fishtai kicking off production in 2026, ramping up production to 30,000 tons of copper a year by the end of the decade. Mimosa currently owns 37.5% of Kashine Copper Limited, which holds the Fishtai project. The agreement with First Quantum will see Mimosa's stake grow to 75% through a completion of a feasibility study and the raising of necessary financing to take the project to technical completion, the company said. Each stage of development is time-bound to ensure the project is brought into operations within a reasonable time frame, they noted. First Quantum also committed to finance and conduct exploration within the wider licensed area outside of Fish Tide. Mimosa Resources will lead the raising of a total investment of $200 million for the project. The agreement comes at a time when First Quantum is being asked to close its giant copper mine in Panama, which accounts for about 1.5% of the world's production of the metal. The operation makes up about 5% of Panama's GDP. Ooh, I thought it was 3. Oh well, what's another 2% between friends? And 75% of its export of goods. Oh, that's nothing important about that either. I'm sure Panama will be just fine. Zambia, which has unveiled plans to triple its copper output by the end of the decade, recently reviewed its tax policy to increase investment in the sector. We are determined this resource should be developed now that the investment climate in Zambia has improved, First Quantum Minerals country manager Godwin Beam said in a statement. In search for a genuine social license to operate. What an odd term. We believe Zambians need to play a leading role in the country's future mining development, Mimosa Resources Executive Chairman Jordan Soko said. As such, we believe it will not only be a step forward for the Fish Tide project, but also for mining in general in Zambia. First Quantum's presence in Zambia, Africa's second largest copper producer, also includes the Kanzansi mine and smelter in Solwezi and the Sentinel mine in Colombia. Well, let's see here. So, on one hand, they've lost one of the largest copper assets that's, a world-class copper mine. But, on the other hand, they're in Zambia. Yeah, this is going to go great. I'm confident that this whole thing is going to go wonderful. Swimmingly, as a matter of fact. Speaking of odd shit going on way south of the non-border, apparently the Venezuelan people had a referendum the other day. In their referendum, they decided that they do indeed own a piece of disputed territory that they've been arguing over with Guyana for quite a while now. Said disputed territory happens to coincidentally hold an oil field and a whole bunch of other stuff that, might be of economic interest here. But the goddess does find it interesting that the people voted a referendum and decided that, yes, this particular parcel of land is indeed Venezuelan. The Guyanans apparently disagree with them on this. The Brazilians at the moment are just kind of making concerned noises and stern statements, but they haven't closed the highway that, would be used to invade Guyana. We shall see. Just one of those things happens. Gold price retreats from record as aggressive Fed pivots. Bets to cool. Gold prices retreated from a record high on Monday, amid signs the market's aggressive pricing of U.S. Federal Reserve rate cuts may have gone too far, which analysts believe is unsustainable. Spot gold fell by 2.2% by 12:30 p.m. New York time after leaping by more than 3% in Asia to hit a record $2,135.39 an ounce, surpassing the previous all-time high set in August of 2020. It should be noted that according to the 10-year chart, gold has basically doubled in price in the last 10 years anyway. So, all you people who like that weird yellow shit instead of silver like us civilized folks, not bad, financially speaking. Just saying. Gold's rally to a new record has been turbocharged by Fed Chair Jerome Powell's Friday comments that traders interpreted as setting the stage for a pivot toward rate cuts, spurring a plunge in the U.S. dollar in treasury yields. However, the greenback had rebounded by Monday morning, with the U.S. dollar index rising by 0.5% to make bullion more expensive for other currency holders. Investors will be on the lookout for a slew of key jobs readings over the next few days for clues on the Fed's next steps. Spoiler alert, all those numbers are fake anyway. The precious metal strength has been underpinned by a wider array of factors, from a wave of purchases by governments and central banks to geopolitical uncertainty, with 41% of the world's population due to go to the polls next year. Really now? Gold is the answer for many things at the moment, whether it's inflation carrying on, rate cuts, or the uncertainty with very costly wars going on. Joe Hermandian, portfolio manager at Tiberius Group AG, told Bloomberg.
Tiberius.
Gold has risen more than 600% since the turn of the millennium, though adjusted for inflation, it remains below the high of 850, touched in January 1980, which would be the equivalent of more than $3,000 in today's dollars. You might want to think about what that means. The yellow metal typically has an inverse relationship with bond yields, falling as rising interest rates offer a more appealing alternative to gold, which pays no interest, and rising as they fall. This, the goddess must say before continuing here, is proof positive of how serious the miseducation on the matter of money versus currency versus economics and all that shit has been for the last couple of generations. That anybody would see any sense in that at all. Okay? Let's look at this. You're going to grab your handful of fiat debt instruments, otherwise known as Federal Reserve notes. Not bills, notes. Okay? These are debt instruments. They are already somebody else's debt that you have assumed through some magical thing that happens where you were stupid enough or had no choice and traded something of actual value for debt. So now you're going to take this debt and try to make the loss from your debt smaller by loaning your debt to the federal government so that they can continue to make more debt and they can pay you interest that has not been higher than inflation in a dog's age, at least. Okay? Are you following the lack of logic in this situation here? The most you are doing at this point, if you go through this little cycle and this little tap dance with the debt instruments here, is you are lessening the amount you are losing. You are not accumulating wealth. One does not accumulate wealth by collecting debt instruments, unless you are in a world where you can redeem said debt instrument for an actual asset. Given the current state of the debt clock, things are not looking good in that regard. Okay? It has gained more than 10% since early October as Treasury yields in the dollar have fallen amid growing expectations for U.S. rate cuts. Swaps markets now see more than a 50% chance of a reduction in March and are pricing in a cut in May. Some analysts argue gold surge to a fresh record high was overdone, and prices slid to trade at $2,023.67 an ounce in New York. The sharp move early on Monday looks like it was more driven by stop loss orders, said Kevin Wong, a senior market analyst at Oanda Asia Pacific PPE Limited, who warned of a risk of a pullback in the short term. Many investors have remained on the sidelines as gold surged higher, raising the possibility of further rallies as latecomers look to buy. Investors in gold via exchange traded funds, a key driver of previous gold bull markets in metal, have been sellers much of this year, with holdings down by more than a fifth from a high in 2020. Market positioning is light versus previous times that prices tested these levels. Wayne Gordon and Giovanni Stanovo, UBS Group AG strategists, said in the note. To see even higher prices from this high base, investment demands need to increase in the form of greater ETF purchases. It wouldn't hurt to have them increase in the form of physical gold. Just saying. Speaking of other random things, there have been some very interesting secret windows of late on usdecproc.org. And for anybody who's curious, right now, at this exact well, it's moving too fast for me to get an exact second here. 33 trillion with a T, 888 billion with a B, 792 million with an M. Well, 793 million with an M. 100,000 and flying faster than I can read it with 1,550. Okay? Yes?
Do you have any idea what it was last week?
Yeah, it was 33 trillion 532 billion, I believe. It's gone up about
300 billion.
3 or 400 billion since last Monday. So you might want to keep that number in mind.
There used to be a whole year's deficit.
Oh yeah, of course it used to be a whole year's deficit. What else is new? Many, many numbers are going vertical right now. Many numbers going to the moon. Just saying, to infinity and beyond. Just saying. Now this might or might not be interesting. Idaho National Lab and U.S. Critical Materials signed a deal to develop new rare earth processing methods. Just a little, people are signing deals to look at rare earths. And in other random rare earth news, in something that surprises absolutely nobody who pays attention to these things, apparently some authorities out there in New York City are now telling people that they might not want to store the lithium-ion batteries for their e-bikes in the house because they've been spontaneously combusting. But I'm sure that that's just a minor inconvenience and very, very rare side effect.
Lucifer shall appear.
Hmm?
Lucifer shall appear.
Yeah, extremely rare side effect there. Strange times for gold. Let's see what Money Metals has to say about this. Ryan London, by the way, who is a dang good writer. Gold jumped to a new record high on Friday, then spiked $75 higher in overseas trading on Sunday, only to be smashed down in today's New York trading. Not only gold, but all the markets are trading frantically right now. Something's up, and smart investors will be prepared for anything. The price of gold and the emotions of gold bugs have moved so much over the last few days that the only certainty at this point is things are very, very, very uncertain. As you can see from the charts, they've got charts there. Gold has been on a tear since early November. The rally culminated with a surge to a new all-time record high on Friday. On a spot basis, the old record was $2,063. Gold closed right at $2,071 last week. The previous high in the futures market was just below $2,080. In doing all this, it set a new record for a daily, a weekly, and a monthly close. It confirmed a golden cross as the 50-day moving average peaked above the 200-day moving average. From a technical standpoint, this was a major breakout. All this undoubtedly served to bring in technically based buying when gold trading reopened in Asia Sunday morning. But more important for gold was the report that a U.S. warship and several commercial ships were attacked by Houthi rebels early Sunday morning. Gold spiked as much as $75 higher, and the timing indicates the move might have been caused by the news. So gold was set up for the typical smash when New York trading opened this morning, and that's exactly what happened. Instead of trading much higher, it's down about $45 as I write to about $20.25. Still not bad, but the question is, what comes next? A new record price, or rather big number, often acts like a magnet for asset prices. Thus, I predict predict that gold would set a new record in the very near term. But I added, for gold to avoid a quadruple top, it would need to decisively beat the old record, rising to somewhere over 2100. So, did Sunday evening spike to around 2135 do the job? Frankly, I don't think so. Considering last night's price jump was largely due to a geopolitical flashpoint that has no influence on gold fundamentals, I think we can ignore it. It shows attention is being directed toward gold largely from investors outside the U.S. The goddess seems to remember that at one point the U.S. used to lead the world. As I've also pointed out in recent days, this rally in gold is notable for the lack of Western investor participation. Total ETF gold holdings have yet to significantly respond to a rising gold price. That's actually good news, as there's very significant fuel remaining for this gold rally over the long term. Today, we see the dollar index rebounding and treasury yields rising as the market digests some stubbornly hawkish comments from Jerome Powell on Friday. We're also seeing the U.S. stock market down, but regaining some lost ground as the session wore on. More notable is a big rally in Bitcoin as investors speculate on ETF approvals. Literally nothing would surprise me over the next few days for gold, but I remain extremely bullish going forward. Investors are falling over themselves and trying to price in a Fed pivot, and that event seems ever more inevitable in the weeks ahead. Gold will be among the biggest beneficiaries of that event. It has traded with remarkable resilience as the Fed hiked rates and real rates rose, so it should rocket once those factors reverse. For now, watch the market and buy metals and miners on the dip. The goddess would say no. Buy metals and miners the way any sane person invests in anything. Dollar cost averaging. Every single week or every single paycheck, you put a percentage of your money into real metals that you hold and into stocks if you happen to believe in gambling in a casino that has worse odds than any in Vegas. Just saying. But that is where we are. There's been a whole lot of speculation as to what's going to go on with metals. And right now, gold's at 2015 and 80 cents, and silver is at $24.62. Platinum at 921, palladium at 1055, and rhodium at 4100. Wow, rhodium's really on the toilet now. Sad. Very, very sad. But back to what I am not seeing at the moment. What I'm not seeing at the moment is a whole lot of toys overflowing in the Toys for Tots bins at Walmart, or at Winco for that matter, or any place else I've seen them. What I'm not seeing at the moment is an overwhelming amount of Christmas spirit. Not many houses being decorated. What I'm not seeing at the moment is shopping carts with a lot of toys and gimcracks and gizmos and all those blockbuster sales that are still choking up the aisles at Walmart so a person can't walk around anywhere. What I'm not seeing at the moment is a whole lot of tech things moving either. People are kind of broke this year.
So for that I am, Mr. Virtue.
Just saying. People are kind of broke this year. And that is something that is not being discussed very much in the mainstream media. The media, bless their perfidious lying hearts, are still trying to push the narrative that Lord Malarkey's Bidenomics are a godsend to the people, and that Americans are just so prosperous at the moment that we don't know what to do with ourselves. We're just awash in wonderful economics and wonderful prosperity. The unemployment numbers are lower than ever. Well, part of that might be because there's a whole lot of people that have more than one job now. Just saying. There's a a lot of people that have more than one job. And the average person is beginning to look around at their actual world and then look at these yo-yos on the TV and say, something's just not adding up here. This is the time when you have to wonder where we're going to go. Because a zombie economy will go toddling along just fine until one day it doesn't. And the question then becomes, what happens on the one day it doesn't? Not going to do very well. And if anybody's interested in the latest news about certain vaccinations and growing abnormal death rates, etc., you might want to go check out Zero Hedge, and you might want to also check out what Andrew Bridgen's been up to over there in the UK, and some interesting things that have come out of New Zealand. Very, very strange things that are coming out of New Zealand. Just saying. I mean, it's not exactly what you would call promising. Meanwhile, silver and gold are still on sale. How lucky can you get? And it's the holiday season, so it's a great time to buy silver and gold while it is on sale. Just saying here. That is just absolutely wonderful. And be sure that you don't buy those EFT, ETFs, whatever the heck they call it. This is paper. No. Paper is not metal. Metal is something you hold. Because if you don't hold it, you don't own it. And on a final note, as of this moment, 33,889 billion.
So it went up a billion?
Yep.
Okay.
Have a nice day. Yes, I know.
Oh, a billion here, a billion there. Pretty soon you're talking real money.
It's a rounding error, dude. It's a rounding error. It's at the Pentagon.
Okay, let's choose this a little bit. Shaggy says, have a good one, Eva.
You too, Shag.
Anyhow, so far we haven't been knocked off YouTube. So we'll see. 33 billion daily.
A problem with that camera.
I don't know what the deal is. It'd be nice to have an idea of how to figure out what the problem is.
They have to talk to a computer dude.
Let's see. This is mostly melted now. How's this one doing? I think it's actually in the exhaust of the computer cooling. It should be a good thing. I'll stick it back in the freezer later. Anyhow, so I have over 400 wheel pennies. Is that worth an ounce of gold? What is a wheel penny? Wheat. Okay.
What kind of wheat pennies?
What kind of wheat pennies is the question now? I'm not a
Different years are worth more than other years.
I'm not a numismatologist or nothing. I'm a miner. That's it. I'm a 67-year-old miner. That sounds contradictory. Okay. So, probably the last field trip to Montana Bee this season. Made the breakthrough. Everything went pretty well. Not complete yet. The Sierra Blaster is doing a nice job of popping the corners and the really hard stuff. Got the Big Hilty fixed. I guess Keith can't drink. Well, I can. Then I go to sleep. Pretty much. That's how it works. But we got that. We're doing these little experiments here with the solution to see what kind of weird things happen. And looking, oh, no miners allowed. Yep, there you go. You got me on that one. Um, hopefully, I'll have a little time to go fishing here. Um, it's Yeah, Mr. Virtue says gold. It used to be 1 to 14 gold, silver. Now it's 1 to 84.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, at least it's not 1 to 100 at the moment. It's
Uh,
dropping.
we're planning on continuing down if the ore grade is there, but we'll have to see, Shaggy. First, I'll have to clean up all the debris that I've made, and anybody seeing what Jason got done this season, I presume that's from Mount Baker. Yeah, he got quite a lot done. He's got a much bigger budget than I do. I also would have been more tempted, instead of all that stuff they did underground, to just run a high line straight to the landing from the outside, their emergency exit there. I can't tell for sure, but I would think that would be a good way of doing it. I don't know. Haven't been there. Don't know the exact three-dimensional layout, but so they seem to be doing okay there. And he's been making some really good instructional videos, some educational videos. I think he's been doing a great job of explaining the basic process of the drilling and the blasting and stuff like that. And I think they've been good videos. I give them really good credit there on the quality of the information on the videos. I think that's great. Let's see. Anything else? Nothing comes to mind here. Anyone got any questions or anything? Hi, Lost Bear. You betcha. You take care of yourself, Lost Bear. I presume that later means you popped in and you're popping out right now. But anyone got any questions about anything? Now would be a good time to throw them in there. I need to see if I can get Jim back over here. I'm not sure. I know he's not working out in the field now. Talk about your season, past season or future season, Mr. Virtue. Last season we started out at Montana B because it's lower elevation. Then we went up to the top of the hill and did a lot of preliminary exploration work on real basic stuff and got some stuff lined out. How much gold did you manage to get this season? Confidential information, not much. Okay. No, Shaggy, that drastically over optimistic. That's all I can say on that one. We've got probably at least 3 tons of stuff from top of the hill to process. We got 2 or 3 tons from Montana B to process, all stockpiled, basically waiting for spring when the weather warms up enough to start moving solutions again. But before we can get up in the hills, we got some stockpiles to work. Got some construction to do. They got to make some more ladder track. And we have some projects in the works. Be interesting to see what Jeff Kablock has when he gets up here, and we got to see what Dave Vanderwall has. He's got some preliminary assays on some sample he took. There's definitely some gold there. Don't know how profitable it'll be, but we can. We're going to be doing some more research. He's doing more sampling. We need to go down there, visit it, take a look at it and stuff. So we got that as a possibility. All in all, got plenty to do to keep me busy. So, not worried about that. And we'll just see. But as I say, Montana Bee got the breakthrough almost done. Um, at top of the hill, we got the that one breakthrough done. Although, I don't think we're going to use that as an entrance. I think we're going to have to try and go around a little bit and find a better place. Just too unstable. I don't think you really need to do much sampling at all to file for permits. Okay, I think you just kind of look at it and say, I'd like a permit. You know, now obviously the more you can throw at them to justify it, it would be fine. But some of the stuff on top of the hills on patented claims and things like that. So we'll see. And talk about your unintended expenses. Not really that much in terms of unintended expenses. We have spent a lot of time out in the field compared to last season, percentage-wise, so we didn't get too much done at the mill because we were doing more field work. We weren't bringing back a lot of ore to process. So we don't know. But I say we got a lot of different things to look at and explore next season. Heck, we got a weekend or two up at Montana Bee, just finishing off the ladder track, cleaning up the area there, deciding what to do. I may take out that pillar because by the time I get sufficient clearance to go down the ladder track and everything, the pillar may be so small that it's not going to do much good anyway. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. You can definitely see those little high-grade seams in it, but in terms of a percentage of the total, you can also see it's like 10%, something like that. Not much. We shall see what we shall see. And you got a huge discount on a rebuilt truck this year. Well, I got a real discount on the rebuilt engine, you know. And so that's good. With any luck, I'll have more visits from my family next year. Hopefully, I'll be better able to turn them onto some good fishing. Get things a little bit better dialed in for them. We shall have to see what we shall see.
Hopefully my boys get to visit sometime next year.
Yeah.
Or we get to visit my Ryan.
Well, that's good, honey bunny. And she's got, hopefully her boys will visit.
We'll get to visit Ryan.
Yeah, we're supposed to go to Boston to visit her son too. Probably in April, something like that. That might get fun. Boston is a great town to visit if you have a local guide. Because he knows all the cool museums and stuff, and she knows where not to go. So, and it's nice having mass transit if you know and are familiar with the system. Okay? Which she is, of course. And her son now works for the T. So we'll have a real good idea what the lay of the land is. But Boston has some really awesome museums, and we'll show you what we see there. It's pretty cool. It really is. A mountain. It's so funny. Well, this is where they read the Declaration of Independence first, and that's the site of the Boston Massacre, and there's Paul Revere's grave over there. Okay, you take care, Lost Bear. Drive safe. And we just got a lot of stuff to do. We got a lot of fun things lined up, and even some stuff that I can't really talk about in detail, but ought to be kind of cool. I might get they get to help build a building and maybe learn how to run a little sawmill, all kinds of weird stuff. So we shall see what we shall see. Getting more and more contacts up here, that opens up more and more opportunities to do interesting stuff. So, as I say, take care of Mr. Virtue. Thanks for coming. And say we'll kind of take you along everywhere we can. Does anyone? Well, that's probably because I'm on a different microphone too. On that last switch, try 4 or whatever the hell it was, I forgot to change the microphone, so it's on the computer mic and the computer camera right now. And for whatever reason, it just kept dropping me on the other stuff. I don't know if that was purely coincidental or what. I started working, stayed working, screw it. But yeah, definitely the volume is going to be a little different and the sound quality is going to be different. So nothing strange there. You can definitely see the increased concentration of stuff in solution at the bottom of this tube from the freezing. And this one too. This is that standard. So that stuff in the bottom's got a lot of gold in it. You're welcome, Jeff. So anyhow, glad to help out what I can. And I want to thank Eva, who's been very patient at times, and without whom I couldn't do a lot of the stuff I do. She really is my other half. So I want to thank her and give her credit for everything she does. I do the physical stuff, the showy stuff, but she does some really important stuff herself. It doesn't look too dramatic, but it is very important. I couldn't mine down Montana B without a hoistman, So that's the situation there. Again, any questions, anybody? Facebook will find a cheap trailer, huh? Okay. Oh. So, that's about it. And if anyone has any questions or whatever, you take care, Shaggy. You can ask during the week too, and I can maybe line something up for Mondays. Oh, so I think I'll call it a night. It was a pretty good workout this weekend. Not feeling badly though. I was wrestling that healthy all day Saturday. I mean, all day long. Yeah, wasn't too sore. So that's good. Okay. I think I'll call it a FBI, a mortal enemy. Oh, Facebook. Okay. Okay.
Well, so the 3-letter agency, it's mortal enemy.
Yep. Okay. Well, you guys take care. I'll put these solutions back in the freezer and see what happens. And we'll go from there. So thanks for showing up. Thanks for the questions. And as Honey Bunny says, happy prospecting and keep it safe out there.